UFC Vegas 101 wrapped up last night, and I gotta say, for a bunch of shit names on a card, it was a pretty fucking good card. I'm gonna be real, very entertaining. I did really shitty on prediction, guys, so I cannot be the prediction king right now. Hopefully we'll get back in the win column next week, but last night was a little disheartening to see the predictions. Got a couple that were really close, a couple of big underdogs that were close, and I did pick a couple of underdogs that smacked, like Christian Rodriguez and shit like that. And then as the night went on, I just sat there and I was like, I know Mackenzie Dern's going to win, so I bet on her, even though I picked Ribas. But, yeah, went 7-7 on predictions. It was terrible, but the card significantly over-delivered. The refereeing fucking sucked balls, dude. UFC will never get their shit together, but let's just talk about the fight here. Narulo Aliev versus Joe Solecki. Now, this went pretty similarly as to how I expected for the first two rounds. I thought Aliev was going to be able to take him down, be able to keep control, and then also be able to stand on the feet and be able to box him up a little bit. Aliev was able to take Solecki to the ground and just, be able to control him there. Like, he wasn't landing too damaging of strikes, but he was able to kind of control him there. And Solecki's not necessarily the easiest guy because of how strong his jiu-jitsu game is, but he is kind of weak. I will say that. And Aliev is literally fucking the Tajikistan Khabib. So, good performance from Aliev. It got to round 3. They started standing on the feet, and I did think Solecki was the better of the strikers, which was strange to say. I thought he was winning the exchanges there, but it was a decent scrap. It was all right. Nothing too crazy. I didn't think the prelims were that good. I thought the main card was insane. But yeah. Aliev got the win. He looked pretty impressive. This guy's super young. And he's got a very similar fight style to Khabib. He's obviously not near that skill level, but we'll see what he does in his career. He's 10-0 now. An interesting guy to keep an eye out for. The Tajikistanis, they're bringing some heat, man. They're bringing some fighters that are getting wins. So good performance from Aliev. Showed dominant grappling, and then tried to show us what he can do on the feet. He's definitely got to improve there, but good performance from him so far, especially for it might have been his second fight in the UFC. Moving on, Fatima Klein versus Victoria Dudakova. Fatima Klein's legit as fuck. I was actually very impressed with Victoria Dudakova's wrestling at points in this. Her ability to reverse and then get top position. It's just Fatima Klein was better, man. She really was. Her reversals were unbelievable. Her top pressure was unbelievable. She was able to land strikes and able to just really dominate the position game, and then she ended up finding herself a TKO at the end of round 2. So really good performance from Fatima Klein. She is a legit fucking prospect, dude. Somebody that you need to watch out for. This woman I can definitely see being in the top 15 by the end of the year. I can also see her going on a title run at the end of 2026, early 2027. Maybe not getting the title, but starting to get up in that top 5 category. Who knows, one day, maybe, because, Zhang Weili, it'll probably turn hands at some point. A lot of people think it's going to be Tatiana Suarez that takes the title away from Zhang Weili, and the fact that everybody is saying that makes me fairly confident that Zhang Weili is just going to beat up Tatiana. I'll be brutally honest. But Fatima Klein looked unbelievable. Again, seriously good prospect in the women's division here. Victoria Dudakova did impress me because I did not think she had a lick of grappling in her, but she actually showed decent grappling at points. She was just outmatched. She did slap her coach at the end of this. You don't want to see that. That's not a recipe for success. I think she was very, very frustrated. I also believe that might have been the coach that was screaming at her to wrestle and grapple. That's what I was seeing in a couple of comment sections. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to come of that. I'm sure that the coaches are not happy, but Fatima Klein really just did dominate. I'm going to be brutally honest here. Like, Victoria Dudakova couldn't get going. We're moving on. Great performance from Fatima Klein. This was a shitty fight. I don't, if anyone thinks it was a good fight, like, I don't know what the fuck you're watching. This is like Mario Batista, but if they were at light heavyweights. Bruno Lopez did just school Magomed Gadzhimagomedov. I think Gadzhimagomedov is really bad, man. I really do think he's bad. I just didn't think it was going to be Bruno Lopez as the guy to fraud check him, but holy shit, Gadzhimagomedov is bad. Dude, he doesn't throw crazy power in his shots. He gasses out, he gets slow, and his grappling's not that good. Like, he was able to kind of not stay on the ground, or if he was on the ground, find his way back to his feet, but like, it was just, he was just getting held against the cage a lot of the time, which was pretty boring for Bruno Lopez. But even when they would separate, like, Lopez would separate, land elbows, 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 go back into the clinch. Elbows, 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 back in on the hips. Like, it's just, it was a pretty dominant performance from Bruno Lopez. Gaziazulov just, again, got tired and was unable to keep Bruno Lopez off him. He wasn't able to get any of the respect of Lopez to keep him from shooting. He wasn't even able to really stay on the outside as much as he'd like to do because Gaziazulov loves to throw those low kicks and then the side kicks to the body. He's not accurate with his punches. Like his punching game is really bad. His boxing's bad. Like it's really, really bad. And the kicks were okay, but it wasn't enough to stop Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez really fucking schooled him the whole time. I say school like it was a masterclass. It wasn't. This was two low-level light heavyweights duking it out, and Bruno Lopez got the better of it. He was a better grappler. He was a better striker. He was grittier. He wanted to fight more. Went in there and he got the win. Pretty good performance from Bruno. Bruno Lopez got the win. He was a good performance for fighting Magomed Gaziazulov, but I really don't see these guys being anything in the UFC at all. Moving on, Ernesta Karakatjetla versus Nicole Cagliari. Nicole Cagliari looked good in the first. I thought I called a women's underdog big time. And then Karakati, I'm going to keep saying that with a weird fucking tone in my voice. It got close in round 3, but definitely round 2, Karakati went off. Landed a ton of strikes, good volume, good output, able to sprawl, stop the takedowns. Like, Cagliari literally didn't land a takedown in round 2. It was great defense from Ernesta. But then round 3 comes around and they're kind of going back and forth. It's just a lot of round 3 took place on the feet, and Ernesta Karakaka did so much better on the feet. Not so much better. Like, Cagliari was landing a couple of shots, but they weren't as technical, they weren't as pretty, and they weren't as frequent. Karakuchuchicha got, I'm going to keep saying the name different every time because I can't pronounce it. I've heard them say it on the fucking broadcast 15 times last night, still can't say it. Kukurapachi was just able to outland her significantly. The striking just looked prettier too. The volume was there. And Cagliari was, if she wasn't able to get it to the ground, she was going to get pretty much schooled on the feet. And it was a close fight. Round 3 was definitely close, but I did give it to Karakuchichara. I'm going to give it to the Chupacabra. Cagliari is just, she's one of those girls where, like, the jiu-jitsu's good, but, like, she's struggling to get it to the ground, so, like, how successful is she really going to be? We're going to see going forward. She got a fucking wagon, dude. Absolute wagon. Dude, did not expect to see that. Honestly, didn't remember that from the last fight, but absolute wagon on the lady. We're going to move on. Jacoby Smith, big fan. We're going to be big fans of Jacoby Smith on this channel, guys. This dude is a fucking monster. Great wrestling. Didn't even see it. Didn't even need to see it. He just was like, nah, let's throw down on the feet with Preston Parsons and just fucking lit him up. Great hook. Sat him down. Knocked him out. Terrific performance from Jacoby Smith. Now, he is open to getting hit, but I really do think that he was getting hit because he didn't have respect for Preston Parsons. And there was a moment where Preston Parsons landed a really fucking good right hand. And I go, oh, Jacoby Smith's got to be careful. But then Jacoby Smith kind of sat down on that left hook and knocked him right out. So, great performance from Jacoby Smith. Round 1 knockout. Yeah, dude, this kid's, he's going to be really good when he starts facing something. And Preston Parsons isn't an easy out. I know his record is 11-6, but this dude's a really good grappler. He's got decent striking. Like, it's not super powerful, super technical, but he can hang in there enough where his grappling's dangerous. Like, he is a pretty decent mixed martial artist. He's no slouch at welterweight here. Jacoby Smith made him look like a slouch. That's the thing. He knocked him out in a minute, so that's a really impressive win. Jacoby Smith's probably going to be moving up in the rankings pretty soon. Not into the top 15 rankings, but I'm saying he's going to be climbing that ladder to start to get there. I'm looking for a big 2025 for Jacoby Smith. I'd like to see him stay active. Would like to see him get a lot of that octagon time, but keep learning. Keep getting better. Good performance from Jacoby Smith. Terrific knockout. I thought I called a beautiful underdog here again, man. I mean, just one of these things, man. I just can't buy them sometimes, bro. Like, I thought I was close with this underdog. Round 1, I'm like, dude, Ogden's going to school this fucking terrible fighter, Thiago Moises. But I was very well aware that the low kicks were bothering Ogden. But Ogden didn't really fucking do anything to stop him. He stayed there in a boxing stance and just let Moises chew his leg. He won round 1 clearly by using, again, like I said, he was using the jab, using the lead hook, and using the lead leg kick. He was going to use that lead side of his body to keep Moises from being able to grapple. And he did. Like, Moises did not get this fight to the ground. This fight went to the ground when it was already there via Trey Ogden or getting sat down by a leg kick. And that's when Moises was better. When it's in the pure grappling, Moises is better. But Ogden has very good takedown defense. And that's why you saw that Moises wasn't able to really get the fight to the ground. It was just when he was there, he was better. So round one is just Ogden dictating the fight. But as Ogden's dictating the fight, Moises is blasting like 6, 7, 8 blow kicks that are seriously causing problems for Trey Ogden. But what did Trey Ogden do? He stayed on the front foot, started throwing his own low kicks with the lead leg, jab, hook, really putting it on Thiago Moises. Then round two comes around and Ogden's looking good again. You're like, dude, he's going to run away with this fight. This is going to be great. And then Moises lands one of those low kicks that absolutely spins Ogden around, sits him down, and he just jumps right into the grappling and just out-grapples and beats up Trey Ogden in the mount position. So, good performance from Thiago Moises there. Round three, Trey Ogden hits full fucking, like really fucking, we're going to call it turd mode because I feel bad saying tard mode a lot. We're going to call it turd mode and just fucking decides to go in on the grappling. Oh my god, he got Moises down, has the back, and then Moises just reversed it. And he lost the fight because he decided to engage in the grappling. I understand that lead leg hurt, but Ogden, I would have liked to seen you just like switch stances for a little bit, land a little bit from your orthodox stance, and as you're seeing Moises wants to throw the leg kick, start throwing your leg kick, switch stance, and then start dictating the dance from the other side. And I get it, you're much better orthodox than you are southpaw, but at some point it's like, are you gonna try something to win the fight, or are you gonna throw the fight away? It just felt like he threw it away. And I get he wanted to engage on the grappling to say, hey, dude, I know I can grapple offensively. I'm pretty damn good. People sleep on it. And it was the way to keep the pressure away from that lead left calf. But it's not the decision I'd make when you're facing a BJJ guy like Thiago Moises. Like, you know he's super dangerous on the ground. You know you're beating him up on the feet. It's just the leg kick is the only thing that's catching you. Find a way to adjust to that. Don't just go in for the fucking takedown and ultimately lose the grappling. Like, he lost this fight because of a decision he made in that third round. So, kudos to Moises for being able to win the fight, but Ogden should have won. He kind of just let it slip away. Fuck, man, I feel bad for Ihor Potieria. Another brutal finish against him. Marco Tulio is a fucking monster. This guy Potieria can't catch a break with his opponents. They just keep feeding him to up-and-coming prospects. And they keep fucking knocking him out cold. I just feel awful, dude. I feel awful. Terrific performance from Marco Tulio. Potieria really couldn't get much going at all. And Tulio was able to just absolutely beat him up. That's what this fight was. Stayed on the feet for most of the time, and he beat him up. Now, he did have a moment where he cup-checked Ihor Potieria. They kept scrapping, kept fighting, kept scrapping. Then they get back to fighting after, 2 or 3 minutes. And Marco Tulio just puts the pressure on and ends up knocking him out. So good performance from Marco Tulio, being able to land a flurry of punches to put Ihor Potieria away. Ends up getting the TKO because it does end up on the ground from the knockdown. It was a knockdown. And then Marco Tulio just kind of beats him up with ground and pound and finishes the fight. So good performance. Marco Tulio, keep an eye on. He's pretty good. Jose Johnson, dude, this guy's fucking terrible. I don't know why I ever pick him, man. You think that the 6-footer at fucking flyweight would be able to dictate the fight with his range? Nope. Decides, hey, man, just fucking, I don't know. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, man. He got submitted because he dipped around in the grappling for too long. I know that's what Felipe Bunes wanted. They found their way to the ground, even though it was 2 failed takedowns, but God, bro, Jose Johnson, get the fuck up and stop playing around on the ground, bro. You're not a grappler, bro. You just use your fucking range, you idiot. You went to the only place that Felipe Bunes knows how to fight. This guy sucks on the feet. He's great on the ground. He sucks on the feet. So what happened? Jose Johnson gets armbarred because he's dicking around on the ground for too long. That's literally the story of the fight. Bunes found his armbar. Plain and simple. That easy. Good performance from Bunes. He did what he had to do to win. Jose Johnson, fight IQ of a fucking walnut. Literally the brain of a walnut. Fucking idiot, dude. God. Fuck Jose Johnson, dude. He should be cut. Honestly, he should be cut. 16-10 at flyweight. Not showing any good signs. Cut him. Punahele Soriano versus Uros Medic. I'm sorry, guys. I said my lock of the card was Uros Medic. Yeah, dude. I just thought Uros Medic was a much better striker, much cleaner striker. Thought he was a tough fighter, and he is. He is also a better striker. But Puna just fucking powered his way through. Like Uros just got slept with a 1-2. Unbelievable 1-2. Puts Uros Medic to the ground in 30 seconds and knocks him out. Terrific performance. I was really mad watching this because I'm like, I bet Uros Medic by knockout with Cesar Almeida by knockout to win like $600 because I put $100 on it, and just it for 30 seconds in, the fucking bet goes away. Done. Puna lands a great like 1-2, and dude, he's found himself in a 2-fight win streak here at welterweight against guys that are pretty good opponents now. I thought Baeza fucking threw the fight against him by dicking around in jiu-jitsu for too long, playing the fucking jiu-jitsu game, soy boy. But maybe I'm wrong, dude. Maybe Puna's just that fucking good at welterweight right now. Maybe he's that much of a problem for a lot of these guys. So Puna Soriano, great knockout over a much better striker, in my opinion, against Uros Medic. Holy smokes. Great knockout. Puna Soriano gets, I think he got a performance bonus. He should have. Moving on. Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. Did I not say this is exactly how it was going to go? Okay, maybe not exactly, because I said Bashi was going to win the first round, which he did on the, like, he'd lost the first round because Christian Rodriguez was just so much better at, like, his strikes were doing more, and then he was able to out-grapple. But, like, C-Rod just, this was what the story of the fight is Austin Bashi not being able to strike well, just shooting for takedowns every time, failing a lot of them, or having moments where he has to fall to his back to try and engage in the grappling, and Christian Rodriguez is able to have control time in the full mount, and it wins him rounds. This story of this fight is Christian Rodriguez being better on the feet, being able to defend the grappling, not being out-muscled by Austin Bashi, and Austin Bashi having nothing in his arsenal other than wrestling. Like, the jiu-jitsu isn't even great in his arsenal. His wrestling's really good. But listen, when you're coming up against these guys in MMA at this point, you're not fighting slouches. You're not fighting these old men that you can just drag to the ground and fucking absolutely ragdoll. No, you're fighting the best of the best. And we know this. When Christian Rodriguez fights a young, undefeated up-and-comer, he will win. Every time. If the guy fighting against Christian Rodriguez is undefeated, and he's not a tremendous, like, I don't even want to say tremendous, because he beat Cameron Simon, who's a great striker. Listen, Christian Rodriguez is going to get it done. He won clearly here, 29-28. Was doing a great job of timing the knees because he knew, like, Austin Bashi was coming. He was throwing good 1-2s, doing a good job of keeping his distance when he had to, and then just anticipating when the shots would come, sprawling, having strong hips, and being able to reverse and get into top position at moments. So there were some couple scary moments where Austin Bashi was on the back going for the choke, but Rodriguez just stayed calm the whole time and stayed out of the rear naked choke position the whole time. So no danger at all for Rodriguez in this fight, really, like once he started feeling confident, and great performance. 29-28 Rodriguez. That was a good underdog pick there. Moving on. Almost had a good one. I thought Roman Kopylov won round 1. I thought Chris Curtis won round 2. And I did think Roman Kopylov was losing round 3 until that knockdown at the end, and that gave him round 3. So, listen. The knockdown counts. It does. I don't think it should have been a knockout. I think that Roman Kopylov wasn't even going for a finish, and I almost predicted this fight perfectly where Kopylov was going to win round 1, but Curtis was going to gain momentum as the fight went on. Kopylov was going to tire out, and Curtis was going to put a pace on him and beat him up. And I think that if it weren't for a nut shot and an eye poke, that would have been the case. I do think that that needs to be said, is Kopylov had good time to... And the nut shot, not as much, because it was like 11 seconds, and Curtis goes, dude, I'm good, let's get back into it. But the eye poke, he has to take another minute and a half, and that's giving Kopylov time to rest, recover, get back to his wits. And that's what I think hurt Chris Curtis here, is like Kopylov is now no longer that tired because he's had a rest in the middle of round 2. He's got more to go now. Round 2, Curtis wins, but I can't help but feel like those really helped Kopylov in the sense that he was able to recover. So Curtis wins round 2 by, and this is one of those fights that's getting dictated by the jab the whole time. Like Roman Kopylov power jab, like hurting Curtis a lot. Then he's throwing 1-2s that are like actually, and I never see Chris Curtis like wobbled or hurt, actually wobbling Chris Curtis and hurting him. And then Curtis is landing good body shots, so you can see Roman Kopylov's getting reactions too. Curtis is landing his jab, cutting Kopylov open, and landing good shots. Like this was a fucking war, and dare I say, this might be a top 25 fight of the year. This was a very, very good fight. But then round 3 comes around and it's like Kopylov's landing more. Oh, now Curtis is landing more. They're going back and forth. It really can go anyone's way. And then like Kopylov lands the kick. He landed a 1-2 that froze Curtis for a second. But Curtis was landing more in that round and landing really good shots to the body that were hurting Kopylov. It's just when Kopylov throws the kick, it knocks down Chris Curtis. That's going to be the end of the round. There's 3 more seconds. Curtis can't do anything to win that round back other than get up and get a knockdown of his own in 3 seconds. I don't think so. So Kopylov is going to win the 3rd round. But I do think Mark Smith called it early. But it was going to be 29-28 Kopylov. Good performance from Kopylov. Good performance from Curtis. This was a scrap. These two got fight of the night. Absolutely deserving of it. Really, really good fight. Very, very impressed. I put this down. What I'm doing is I'm making a note in every card, like when I'm watching these fights, rather than just trying to go back and look and like, what are the fights of the year if I remember them correctly? No, after I watch the fights, I'm putting them in a sheet. After I watch finishes, I'm putting them in a sheet, and you'll see that with the Cesar Almeida one. KO of the year contender, fight of the year contender. This is going to be in the top fights of the year unless this is the most generational year of MMA and all the fights are great. So, great performance from Chris Curtis. Great performance from Roman Kopylov. Big win. Awesome fight. Moving on. Dude, this fight was fucking crazy. Crazy fight. Back and forth. Abdulrazak Alhassan gets a knockdown. And they're, like, first of all, it started measured. And a lot of this is like Cesar Almeida landing low kicks. Alhassan landing some kicks to the body. Cesar Almeida landing kicks to the body. Not landing much up top. Trying to keep it at range. Very much a kicking fight for Cesar Almeida to stay away from the power of Abdulrazak Alhassan. And Alhassan obviously wants to get on the inside and box and use his hands. And Alhassan gets it. Lands a terrific 1-2 that sits Cesar Almeida down. Hurts him bad. He's going for a finish. Almeida gets back up. They start going crazy, swinging at each other. And just as they're in the pocket, Alhassan lands. And then Cesar Almeida just counter left. Right on the chin of Alhassan, knocks him out cold. Alhassan was out for like 3 minutes. You could literally hear him snoring in the octagon. It was a tremendous finish. This was crazy because you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, Alhassan's going to win this fight by knockout. It's crazy. I'm showing my buddies as we're watching it on the couch. I'm like, guys, you need to see this. This is crazy. And then we're watching, and Cesar Almeida, boom, knockout. And you're like, oh my God. Craziness. This is why I love this sport. Fights like this are why I love this sport. You never know what's going to happen. Tremendous knockout from Cesar Almeida. Dude, I did not think this guy had crazy power in his hands. That punch, yes, it was perfect. But dude, that is, to be out that cold for that long, oh my God. He's got power of his hands. Listen, he doesn't have the Pereira death touch, fight vaults. I don't know if you're watching this, but I don't know if he's got the death touch like Alex Pereira, but he's got some fucking power in those hands, man. It's a lot more than I thought he did. Great left hook, great knockout, sick performance in the knockout of the year category. Again, it's the first fucking fight card of the year, so like, take what you will with that. Moving on. Carlston Harris, Santiago Ponzinibbio, 2 fucking old men battling it out. Honestly, not bad. It was a pretty fun. Now, this was an ugly fight. It wasn't pretty by any means. It was fun, though. And it was a good unk-off. Ponzi gets the knockout win. I think he got robbed of a spectacular knockout, but that's okay. First round, though, Carlston Harris is putting it on Ponzi. Like, Ponzi cannot get going, can't land. Every punch he's getting hit with is hurting him. And Harris even knocked him down and almost knocked him out. He was going for the ground and pound. He's getting close. Ponzi's just barely staying alive. Then round 2 comes around and Ponzinibbio's starting to take over a little bit. He's using his pressure. He's using the kicks a lot better. And his jabs are landing. He's able to start landing 1-2-3s. And now his combinations are following up. And things are looking better for Ponzinibbio in round 2. And then round 3, these guys are duking it out. And you're sitting there and they're kind of hurting each other with everything. Because at this point you can just see it is 2 geriatric old men going at it, getting in a scrap. Ponzinibbio does get a knockdown. And then he's starting to try and finish the fight, and he's landing combinations. I think he's getting ready for his finishing sequence, about to finish the fight maybe in 15, 20 seconds. But Carlston Harris's mid-left hook, and I think it's Kerry Hatley was the referee, who I think is one of the worst referees in the fucking game. This guy is too old to be in there, got crust over his fucking eyes, can't see shit, doesn't know how to ref. He stops the fight mid-fucking counter hook from Carlston Harris, knockout, Ponzinibbio. Dude, Carlston Harris is in the middle of landing a left hook. What the fuck are you doing? These are why it shouldn't be fucking stupid, slow old men in there, because one time it's going to be, there's going to be a knock, and Kerry Hatley's the guy who was in the octagon for the Bobby Green, Jalen Turner knockout. This guy is a danger to fucking fighters, too. So it's not like he's just calling fights early. You're having these guys take career-ending damage because they're stopping it too late, too. He's a fucking idiot. He's going to get someone in serious trouble. I want Hatley gone. At least Mark Smith isn't bad every time he officiates. Kerry Hatley is bad every fucking time. I want him gone. Too bad I don't get to make the decisions. Kerry Hatley fucking sucks. Ponzi gets a win. We got robbed of a spectacular knockout. Carlston Harris got robbed of a chance to come back. But it was a finish from Ponzinibbio. He won. Is what it is. Moving on. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. This is one of those fights where it was like, neither of them are great on the feet. Dern's boxing, I think, has, again, improved, and it's getting better each fight, but, like, she's a lot more poised when she's throwing. She's not just winging crap in there. She's more poised. She's throwing the jab out there. Then she's going 1-2. And then when they're throwing, that's when she's throwing some hooks. She's not just out there spamming hooks like she was in the first fight. And in this fight, Ribas is able to land a little bit, using some kicks pretty well. Dern was actually landing a lot of good low kicks, which was not something that we've seen from her in the past. And then Dern did a great job. And one of the things that I knocked Dern for is, like, I didn't love her ability to wrestle. I like her ability to grapple, not wrestle. She had a great takedown in the first and dominated the control in the first. Round one. Round two, same thing that Dern did and Ribas did. Ribas was able to get the takedown, dominate the round on the ground in the second. And then round three, they're going back and forth. It gets to the ground via a Ribas takedown. Dern's going for an armbar. She has it almost locked up for like 3 minutes. And then and then she gives it up with like a minute left, knowing, all right, I'm not getting this armbar, but I'm in top control. Like, let's see if I can land some damage, win this round. And then all of a sudden, she's winning the round, sees the arm, grabs it, gets the armbar. So great submission there from Mackenzie Dern. Cameraman, MVP of the night. A lot of jiggling, a lot of moving around this fight. It was a fantastic jiggle. That's my Trump impression, guys. I'm sorry. It was great jiggle. It was an American jiggle, except it was a Brazilian jiggle. But we're in America. It was in the Apex, so it was an American jiggle, and it was my favorite jiggle. Some may say the best. And that's what we're going to get when Donald's in office in 8 days, is a lot more jiggling. All right, I'm getting a little carried away, but good performance from Dern. She gets a submission. This was the recap. I don't know, dude. I just had a little crash out at the end there. I thought it was funny, dude. If you think I got a good Trump impression, give me a fucking shout in the comments, dude. I think I got a good one. But if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. First fight night of the year. Pretty fucking good. And we got a sick card coming up next weekend. Yeah, next weekend it's Sarukian, Makhachev 2. We got Moicano on the card. Johnny Walker and Guskov just got taken off the card, so that stinks. But is what it is, man. Is what it is. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned this week for all the Makhachev and Sarukian content.